she is. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. If you're just joining us, this is not my normal content. If you're a normal viewer, I've got some videos coming. So aside from my usual regimen of excuses and it being lawn care season, today we're just going to go over a problem I've just ran into by replacing my carburetor with an Amazon carburetor, which is why you might be watching this video. So first things first, we're not even going to go over the specific model of this mower. It's a Yard Machines. If your lawnmower has one of these engines, this is the carburetor I bought off of Amazon that said it's supposed to work on any one of those engines. So that's pretty much as deep as we're going to dive. This is a Briggs & Stratton 550EX 140cc. It's about 9 years old. Many valve adjustments and blades and filters and fluid exchanges. I've definitely got my money out of it, but again, we're not going to go over any details. A lot of these push mowers are same in a lot of ways and different slightly in others. It all depends on the manufacturer putting their little touches on everything. So what happened to my carburetor? After 9 years, it physically came apart. The butterfly valve, the throttle valve really, not the choke plate, but the throttle valve inside, further in, completely came apart. I was mowing the yard out back. It was running a bit peaked. It was running a little bit higher, which was kind of nice because I was mowing some pretty tall grass because I took too long before I mowed again. And then after I did another turn, it started going faster and faster and then just ran wide open, like valve floating and everything. I'm like, oh, well, that's not good. So pulled it in here, really wasn't sure what was wrong with it. Tried a few things, it didn't fix it. So I decided, okay, I've got to pull the carburetor. And when I pulled the carburetor, that little throttle plate just fell out of the intake. So I was like, oh, well, that's not good. So the motor likely ingested some plastic. I couldn't find the other piece. I don't know how long it had been gone, but I basically came to a decision, like a lot of you, just go buy a new lawnmower or just order a carburetor. Got on Amazon. I saw they were for sale for like 28 bucks. Mine is a whole kit. It came with an intake, a fuel line, a spark plug, a bunch of extra gaskets and clamps. I didn't use any of this stuff because this is all mostly new. I try to change everything out every 2 years, and I keep the filters clean. I blow them out and brake clean them and all that stuff and dry them. So I cleaned everything up, put the carburetor on, pushed it outside, happy I saved $300. And I went to start it and it did this. So that video was after I just mowed my whole front yard, but that's exactly what it did the first time I started it. It took forever to pick up RPM, like it wasn't getting enough fuel, and I just sat there and watched it. It took like 20 seconds before it started to go. So I was like, well, let me see what happens, and I mowed the whole yard. It was running as if it was just about to run out of fuel. If you've ever push mowed a yard more than a couple times, you know what it feels like when you're push mowing and it starts to run out of fuel. Those first few little hesitant kicks it gets. It was basically doing that the whole time I was mowing the yard. Believe it or not, it really wasn't down on power. It just felt constantly at that threshold of possibly stalling out. But there were certain paths and strips I did where it was dead smooth, but then of course it would just start acting up again. It made no difference if I was rearing the thing back and mowing over high spots or anything. It wasn't a load based performance issue. It was just a random fuel starvation or possibly running a bit rich. So I have a feeling it's just not the correct jet size. It's about due for a valve adjustment, but I'm gonna wait until it's completely cooled off. It's still somewhat hot. So I'm gonna pull this brand new carburetor back off because nobody wants to do that. We just wanna slap this thing together and work another 5 years. But I'm gonna pull it off, flip it upside down, pull the bowl out, and I'm gonna compare the jet size on this carburetor to my old carburetor. So if you threw your old carburetor away, go get it out of the trash, or I guess probably just go buy a new lawnmower because you're likely gonna need the jet pack insert out of your old carburetor, unfortunately, or just go buy a genuine Briggs & Stratton one. But not to ramble on, but different elevation changes, you do need to run different jet sizes, and I think this is just the wrong one. Nothing about that was specified on Amazon. If it was, I didn't read carefully enough. At the time, I didn't care. So let's go ahead and strip this down and see what we got. All right, so first thing is this cover is an 8mm. Pull your filter cover off, pull your filter out. You have two 8mm right here. These are actual fine thread. And you have a breather tube on the back side. You'll be staring right at it. It pops right off the back. And then you want to switch to 7mm. These screw directly into the carburetor. These are a little bit coarse thread. They look like self-tappers without the pointy bit. And that piece comes off. All right, so you're left with your carburetor, your linkage, this breather tube, and your fuel line. You can drain it if you want. I'm just gonna make a mess. And by mess, I guess I am gonna use clamp off pliers like I just had. So, and I'm gonna get my pliers. All right, that's far enough off. There we go. Carburetor just slips forward. If you're watching this video by now, you should be able to tell if you don't have a thermostat choke. This is probably not the right video. This is the tricky part. If I remember, I just did this. There we go. Bending that out of the way too hard. Take your thermostat rod off first, whether that's correct or not, I don't know, that's what I just did. And then you take your little throttle linkage off. And you can go drain this. Let's go ahead and put this very, very lightly in a vise. This is my old carburetor. I've already got this dismantled and I've pulled the jet pack out of the carburetor. It sits in here just like this. There are two little tangs that fall into these indentations and this whole thing pops right out. I'm going to go grab the other one. I'm going to be very gentle here because this is the new one. These are 7mm as well. And there we go. All right, I've got these two little pocket screwdrivers. They're nice and sharp, fine, flathead. Okay. So since this is an updraft carburetor, your jet's going that way towards the volute. Just very carefully massage this around. This is the good one, so we don't want to risk breaking anything. Definitely be careful. Yeah, this one is definitely tighter than that old one. It's a no surprise. Go opposites. There she is. So part of it's still in there. So we'll just have to pull that out. There we go. So let's go ahead and put this back on. There, just like that. So you can see we have matching jet inserts. I can tell just by eyeballing this right away. The jet on the OEM Briggs & Stratton is slightly bigger than the jet on this Amazon carb. So I'm going to gauge these and see where they're at compared to I'm going to compare the size of the jet and go from there. And now I have a choice to make. I could put this genuine Briggs & Stratton piece back in here, or I could just take a little drill bit and open up this jet. Well guys, in an effort to not waste any of our time or what's left of my day, I'm decided I'm just going to put this jet assembly in the old jet assembly in the new carburetor. I've been messing around with this as an oxygen acetylene tip cleaner. It gives you nice little measurements of what, use number, size, drill for this tip size, and I was trying to backwards gauge everything to figure out what size jets these are, but I'm really not having any success. The more you look at them, the more they look the same, and then you look at them again and you're like, no, one's definitely bigger than the other. So I'm kind of at that point of where I'm just dilly-dallying around, and I need to just see if this is the problem or not. It's hard to gauge these small differences by eye. I don't have a micro drill bit, a set, or any way to gauge jet sizes individually. That's something I kind of want to buy now, just for the sake of having one. With the top one being the new one, it's a lot cleaner, and the light is making it look bigger, but it's not. If anything, it's smaller or the same size. Then you have these other orifices. Again, the top one is the new one, the bottom one is the old one. I'm not really 100% sure, guys, to be honest. But I'm going to go ahead and put the original Briggs & Stratton one back in the new carb and just see what happens. Also, you have I believe these are going to be the main jets, and then you have your main supply jets. I would assume kind of the same difference. They're very close, if not identical. I just don't have a way of gauging them. Again, I'm not going to waste any more of my time researching this stuff. I'm just going to go with my first guess and replace the jet pack. Alright guys, I cleaned up the jets a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and lubricate these O-rings. Should take the O-rings off all the way, but it's okay. Get some on that one too. Again, this is the old one out of the old actual Briggs carburetor, and we're putting it into the Amazon one. So should just snap in. Yeah, it's in there. Go ahead and take this O-ring off and lube it. There we go. Okay. And now to put the carburetor back on the engine. We'll just lube up the face of everything. All right, let's wheel it outside and see if it starts. that's where she lives. And now we run the piss out of it until something else breaks. Good way to save $350. Minus the $28 for the carburetor kit that I only used the carburetor. But now I have spare parts. That's why I want my new mower to be the exact model as this one, so now I have a whole bunch of spare parts. So maybe next year. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I was surprised it started that easy. I know that looked staged, but that genuinely was me pushing it out there and starting it the very first time after we just assembled it right here. That's all it was. I don't know exactly what the difference was. If one size different in a jet was probably what the issue was. That carburetor was probably meant for a higher elevation. These mass-produced parts, they try to have a one-size-fits-all, and sometimes that just isn't the case. But that was fun. That was a super easy job. I'm glad that's all it was. If you're going to do the same thing, don't get in a hurry taking that jet assembly out. Be very careful with the plastic. You don't want to crack the housing on the new one. Some of the reviews I read on those carburetors, that was the exact issue. They wouldn't run at all, or they'd run very briefly or not at all. Now there could have been other issues. It could have been running too rich. There could have been other issues with the lawnmower. Mine was very obvious because it came apart. So there wasn't much guesswork there. I had to start with a new carburetor. If there was anything else wrong with it after that repair we just did, I was likely going to go check the valve adjustment because I know the motor ingested some plastic. So it could have been compression related, but again, I didn't really have any performance issues with it. It was just the general fuel starvation is what it felt like. Because it was bogging down on some tall grass and it was fine, and then it just randomly would be starved for fuel. So it wasn't a performance issue, which would dial back to a compression related issue. It wasn't smoking. As it was kind of coughing and dying out, it wasn't black smoking either as like an enrichment deal. So I just kind of was acting like it was starved for fuel, and that's, from what I could tell, that's what it was. And luckily I had the old carburetor. I hope you still have your old carburetor. Don't ever throw anything away ever, because that's when you'll need it. Or just go buy a nice, clean, fancy new lawnmower, I guess. Some of these new, even consumer line push mowers are computer controlled idle and RPM and load sensing and stuff, and it's just stick to a basic one, I guess. But anyway, I'm rambling as I usually do. I hope you liked the content today. Again, 100th time, I hope that video helped you. I wish I could make more videos like that, but I'm usually pretty scatterbrained and all over the place, as you can tell from my content as of late. There are more videos coming. Don't get me wrong. I've just bought this lathe mill combo. And it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. It's a bit intimidating, but I'm learning and recording as I go. I look forward to some videos for that. The Galaxy's right over here. I've got almost all the paint off of it. Yeah, we'll not talk anymore about that. So guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.